Hello and welcome to the All Rookie Podcast. Today is June 20th, 2025, and I'm your host, William Harris, aka William is Bill. Great to be back with you today on another great episode of the All Rookie Podcast. I've talked to you about my top 30 prospects, 10 at a time. Today I'm going to wrap up my top 60 by going 31 through 60 all together. Second class guys, second round guys. I didn't mean to say second class, but I mean the shoe fits. No, I'm just kidding. But a lot of talented guys in this range as well, 31 through 60. I actually have 76 guys that I think are draftable. A lot of these players are interchangeable. Some of these guys may be moving up into my top 30 in the next coming days. But as for now, let's get straight to it like it's nothing to it. 31 through 60. Big board time. All right, first on my list, I have Noah Esingwe. When I originally scouted him, he was listed at 6'8". His new measurements are that he is 6'10". So that little aspect right there will probably move him up a few spots for me. A lot of people will say, why is he so low on my list? He's a lottery guy for a lot of people, top 10 for some people in this upcoming draft. For me, I didn't see that, and there's no real knock on him necessarily. But the 30 guys I had ahead of him, I just saw more talent. And with Noah, I saw more of a prospect. So, like I said, now 6'10", 200 pounds, 18 years old, 10 and a half points per game, 5 boards, 1 steal, 51% from the field, 27% from three. Obviously, that's not a good number in the 20s. And that needs to get higher. Can it get higher? Not sure. We will see. But Noah is a long, rangy prospect, has a nice fadeaway, great leaping ability. But like I said, he's a project. He plays well in the international games, but needs polish and refinement to have success in the NBA. He also needs to fill into his body. He's going to have to become a great shooter, and he's just not there yet. But he has potential. He has a good shot. He just needs to improve it. So a lot of times you can tell if someone's a good shooter or not just by the form. So I mean, his form is solid. Just needs to keep working on it. And he is 18. But he doesn't really create for himself. He just cuts and spots up for baskets for the most parts and gets a lot of lobs and putbacks. If he continues that, he will just be a developmental role player. But if he hits and improves in all these aspects, he can be a vital starting small forward for a long time, and now possibly power forward if he since he's 6'10". But his wingspan and his length is ridiculous, along with it being 18. Teams are gonna just drool all over that. So he will be a first rounder, but don't get your hopes up so high for him. It may take a little while. But that's why I have Noah Esingwe at 31. At 32, Sion James, 6'6" guard from Duke, 22 years old, 8 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal per game, 41% from three. Now, Sion is a great shooter. That's what he was solely used for in Duke, pretty much. But can he be more? We will see. But he is a catch and shoot guy. But you know what? He can put the ball on the floor also and get some things done. But now he's either making the right pass or making a simple decision. Uh, One type of move drive to get to the hoop. Nothing fancy, just effective. He's a really good cutter to the rack, and I think he's a really good defensive presence. He moves his feet incredibly well, stays with his man, and defends going straight up. He clearly has a high IQ and is coached up correctly on defense. His size, body, and frame allow him to be good at it as well. He bullets his way to the rack on offense. It's not really smooth, but it's effective. He comes in like an undersized wrecking ball when he goes into the paint, especially against bigs. His shot itself doesn't seem natural, like it was made in a factory, but he does shoot the three ball very well. And I compared him recently on the pod to Lou Dort. He can definitely have that type of career. And, if a team sees that in him, there's no reason why they can't take him in the first round as well in the 20s. But right now I have signed at 32. I think most people have him ranked a lot lower than that. But he's a really good prospect because if you compare his numbers to Dort's numbers, he was a much better shooter than Lou Dort. But Lou Dort scored a lot better. But it's all about your role in the NBA. So we'll see. 33, a highly talked about prospect, Maxime Renaud. a 7'1" center from Stanford, 22 years old, averaged 20 points, 10.5 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1.4 blocks, and most importantly, shot 35% from three. And he's been moving up people's draft ranks all year. They have him in the top 20, some people. For me, I had him at 33. I haven't really moved him up because, like I said, no fault of his own. The guys in front of him, I just are higher on. I am higher on. But Maxime Renard is a really good shooter. Can even shoot it well from three. Has a slow release, but he's 7 foot, so it shouldn't be a problem. But players are very fast in the NBA, especially well, including centers like Mitchell Robinson. Um, so they can get out and guard you quick. So that could be an issue if he has a quick, fast center on him. But because Maxime does not move fast when he's going to the rim. So I don't know if the athleticism is standing out to me, but I do know he's a good prospect, good shooter, gets great position without the ball. He's not strong as he needs to be. He has trouble backing down players at times. The shooting is great, but the lack of speed and that strength worries me. In some instances, he does move well. So it's all about conditioning and coaching. It could, it could be better for him, but that's why I have him in the second round. Like those issues are not first round rarely for me, but he does still have the bright future that you can project. And so if he's not strong on offense, he's also not going to be that strong on defense. There's just a few question marks I have for Maxime, and he's a 22-year-old. So if he was 18, yeah, I would have no problem taking him in the first round. But he is 22. He's more of an offensive talent that is kind of perimeter oriented. So next on my list, 34, Johnny Broome, the 6'10" forward from Auburn. Excuse me, Johni Broome. It's spelled like Johnny, but it's Johni. He averaged 19 points, 11 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks per game. Really, really solid power forward. If you're looking for a backup power forward right away, he's your guy, and he can improve as well. But he has nice quick post moves, runs the floor very well, has a lefty hook shot, great rebounder, great shot contester. And he's 23 years old, so he has that experience. He shoots like Julius Randle a little bit, but he has soft touch at the paint, rim roller, had great stats, but it's nothing real spectacular about his game. So that's why I think he'll be a solid or above average power forward, good finisher, can drive to the rack at times. But I think, this is a guy that teams need more than would want. He's not like a want. He's like the quality car sitting in a lot and it's going to last 10 years, 20 years. And then you have a lot of these Lamborghinis, you're going to have 3 or 4 years and they ain't going to be able to, they'll just be sitting in the garage, you know what I mean? So Johni Broome is the safe power forward that teams will be looking for. 35, Kobe Sanders, the 6'8" small forward from Nevada. 16 points, 4.5 assists, 1 steal, 34% from three. Kobe plays like a star, has very nice handles. He's an expert at fakes in the paint that allow him to get to his shot. Good three-point shooter, great size, great step back, great fadeaway, great passer. I love that he has point guard skills. Only negatives are he went to Nevada and he's 23 years old. But his mid-range game is effortless. And he moves a little slow at times, but he plays at like a Cade Cunningham type of pace. So if you can picture that as a small forward. But still, like I said, with point guard moves, I think he could be really good in the right situation. And a lot of teams, a lot of mock people seem to be down on him, but I think Kobe Sanders needs some love and needs to be talked about a lot more. 36 on my list, Drake Powell. A lot of guys have him in the first round. For me, 36, Carolina prospect, 19 years old. Look at the stats. 7 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. That's pedestrian stats, but he did shoot 38% from three, so that's good. And he only played 25 minutes per game. But quick first step, great leaping ability. That's what you're going to see when you think of Drake Powell, athlete. He's a good shooter, good cutter, high basketball IQ. Slow release on his three-point shot, so I don't really like that. But in time, he can put it all together. I think he should have stayed in school for another year, but he decided to come out. And like I said, I have him at 36, but a lot of guys have him at 20 to 26. So he decided it was best for him to come out now. I think he showed flashes of greatness and potential. He does work very hard on defense, great shot contester, smart defender, but he could get lost in the shuffle depending on the team he goes to. Don't be expecting a star shooting guard when you get him. I mean, unless he has a whole lot of offensive game that he didn't get to show in Carolina. And I mean, Carolina needed that, so I don't know why he wouldn't add it then. Anyway, 36, Drake Powell. Now, number 37, Rocco Zikarsky, the 7'4" big man from Australia, 19 years old, pedestrian stats, but he only played 12 minutes per game. But Rocco is a humongous individual, great offensive rebounder, gets really good post position when backing his man down, which is tough for a lot of bigs, but he's 260 pounds. So he's not one of these 200-pound guys that I'm worried about. He has soft touch in the paint with his floaters, really good rim protector. Everyone's talking about Hanson Yang. You can't like Hanson Yang and not like Rocco Zikarsky. And, I just think he moves well for a 7'4" big man. It's hard to move well at 7'4", but he does it. You know what I mean? It's not like he's moving like George Murasan out there. But he has a shot as well. He just needs to keep improving his game, working on it, but he has a really good foundation. Nice left hand hook. But his main thing is getting great position. So if he can get that same position in the NBA, he's gonna be fine. But if he struggles with that, it could be a rough year or two. But look out for Rocco Zikarsky. It's especially if you're a team like Brooklyn or someone with a lot of picks. The Hornets have picked 33, 34. Like you have a lot of picks. He is worth the risk because if he hits, you have something. But he also could be somebody that doesn't work, and it's not that big of a risk if you have multiple picks. If you have one pick, like the Bucks, I mean their pick is late, but if you have one pick at like 30, like the Clippers, and you take him and he doesn't work out, that's gonna set you back. But if you have multiple picks, Rocco Zikarsky is well worth the shot in the dark. Number 38, Adama Ball, the 6'6" guard from Santa Clara, and he's originally from France. And I just heard that he did sign a deal to play in France this year, but his name is still in the draft, so he's technically still draft eligible. So it's kind of confusing. And I posted him on Twitter on X today and I got some response like, why is nobody talking about him? Because he is really good. Well, Adama Ball, like I said, I have him at 38. He is really, really good. And no one's talking about him. I don't know if it's because they think he's returning to France or not. But if he's draft eligible, which technically he still is at the current moment, very fast, athletic, tall guard. It was a lot of tape on him from last year when he could have came into the draft, but he decided to stay in school. You can obviously see the talent. He can create his own shot, can cross over at any time. He can do it all. Most guys look smaller than they are on tape. He looks bigger than his listed height at 6'6". So I don't know why isn't more buzz on him. He's an NBA player, no doubt. Has a good feel for the game, very shifty. And, he is. I think he played 5 years, so his eligibility is up. And I still don't think he's reached his peak. I think he can still grow and be much better. So Adama Ball, look out for that name. I would hate to see him go back and play in France when he's that talented. But if he gets drafted, the team is going to have a steal. Number 39 on my list, another guy nobody's talking about, Jackson Robinson, the 6'7" forward from Kentucky, 5-year senior, 13 points per game, 38% from three. Could have came out last year, decided to stay. He's just a very smooth shooting guard, small forward. Love the size. He can bring the ball up the court like a point guard. Can pull up from three, create his own shot. Very long range. You love it. Soft touch in the paint with his floaters. He always plays under control. Nice mid-range game. Jackson Robinson is a player that you want on your team. And I think he could have done more if he was on a different team. But Kentucky, he's on Kentucky. They have a lot of talent. I think Jackson Robinson can actually do more than what he showed. A really good shooting guard and should be a good player in the NBA. He's NBA ready right now. So someone can get a steal with him in the second round. Um, Very talented. I mean, if you took him in the first round, I wouldn't care. That's how good Jackson Robinson is. Number 40 on my list, Vladislav Golden, the 7'1" big man from Michigan, originally from Russia. Unfortunately, he's 24 years old, but he averaged almost 17 points and 7 boards per game, 1.5 block, and shot 33% from three. Now, Vladislav can move. He's a really good three-point shooter. Quick moves when he's near the rim, doesn't get stuck pump faking. Honestly, he's one of the best running bigs in this draft. His moves amaze me. Good passer, finisher in the pick and roll, good shot blocker, knows where to be at all times. Some of that comes with his age, being 24, but he's a good player. He's ready to go. Sometimes it is tough for him to score on his own, but that can be worked on. But pick and roll cutting are great. If he was 19, he'd be a top 25 pick easy, but 24 makes him around this range. Very intelligent player. So look out for Vladislav Golden. That was 31 through 40. Let's keep it rolling. I'll get a little quicker the lower we get. All right. 41, Lachlan Aldrich, the 6'10" big man from Australia, 21 years old, 11.6 boards, 1 steal, 29% from three. And Lachlan moves like a 6'7" forward, which is great since he's 6'10". Nice touch, heady player, plays well in the pick and roll, crafty. He just needs to get a little stronger. But I love his size and the way he moves. That alone is special. He finishes well with layups and hook shots. But he is athletic still and will dunk on you in transition. So look out for Lachlan Aldrich, 41, well worth the risk. A guy I feel that's not getting any love at all, Caleb Love, ironically, the 6'4" point guard from Arizona, 5-year senior. You know, it was talk he could have came out as a freshman. He helped Carolina near the championship, I believe, as a freshman, but sometimes he would have high peaking games and low peaking games, kind of like what Halliburton is doing right now in the playoffs. So you see, just because that happens doesn't mean you shouldn't be drafted. It happens to a lot of people. Sometimes you got it all. Jalen Williams in the last game, game six, in the finals. You know, game five he was incredible. Game six, minus just a terrible performance, a minus on the court, minus 40, I believe. So players go up and down. You can't use that against them to say, oh, he's not worth being drafted, not worth giving a shot in the NBA. Caleb Love is super talented. He's pro ready. He moves like a pro, great shooting form, good shooter, plays pro style, great lob thrower, really good passer with the vision. And you know, he is clutch in the big moments. Like you see what's going down in the playoffs, whether it's Brunson, Halliburton, Shea, you know, big shot makers. He's one of those big shot makers. He may have some things he needs to polish on, like he only averaged 3.5 assists. That is something that you want to see go up, but he's most definitely a draft-worthy player. I don't know why people are low on him. It just seems like they're ignoring him altogether. But Caleb Love is 42 on my big board. I wouldn't care if he went 30th. You know, that's how talented Caleb Love is. Someone's going to get a steal with him if he gets an opportunity. We need more NBA teams. It's just too many good players getting lost in the shuffle. I hate it. 43, Igor Milicic Jr., the 6'10" big man from Tennessee. Super talented. When I saw his tape, he was ranked like super low in the 90s or something. And I saw his tape. I said, oh my God, he's better than a lot of these guys. And Igor can blow by his man on the perimeter. Very athletic. Can fly, dunk, maneuver his way in traffic. Excellent passer, good shooter. Lob threat, very talented performer, good rebounder. He can get a little better in the post, get stronger. But he's a senior. So, you know, when you see someone can get stronger, it's like, well, they're 18, 19. He is a senior, but that's a negative. But NBA conditioning can get that fixed. The talent is too much to pass up on for me. Igor Milicic better be drafted on draft night, okay? If you don't know him, look up his tape. It stands out. It pops off the screen. Number 44, Liam McNeely, the 6'7" from UConn, 19 years old. A lot of people have him in the top 18. I have him at 44. Sorry. 14.5 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 31% from three. And that's a big key on that, the 31% from three. But he did have a 38 point, 10 rebound game against Creighton. But Liam has a perfect shot. I mean, it's a textbook 3-point form. But he's not really fast or athletic. And to me, he seems like he'll be a solid role player in the NBA. His three-point percentage is not like it's 41%, it's 31%. That's not elite. So with those things being said, how can he be a first rounder? How can he be a lottery pick? I don't know. You look at a guy like Corey Kispert, he was like 14th or 15th in the draft. He's not as good as Corey Kispert, and Corey Kispert is looked at as someone that's replaceable. You see what the Wizards are doing. Might be more valuable on a better team, but Liam could be used like Corey Kispert. But when you look at a Corey Kispert type player, you would say that doesn't need to be a lottery player the way he's being used in the NBA. Now, if he was being able to be used like he was in college, Corey Kispert would be really good. But Liam McNeely, good passer, heady player, great off screens. I think he can help a good team player. But I'm not seeing the first round talk with Liam McNeely. I'm sure you guys are, but I'm just calling it how I see it. Number 45, Matthew Cleveland, a 6'7" forward from Florida and Miami. He played at Florida State and Miami, 4-year senior, averaged 17.5 points, 4.5 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Just a really good all-around player. Can blow by you, attack the rim, good handles, can hit the mid-range J, really good three-point shooter, great hops, nice floater. Really good player. He deserves to be drafted. I hope y'all hear the name Matthew Cleveland on draft night. Obviously, the NBA used to hate seniors, but my 31 through 60 is full of seniors. So just pick the best one and roll with it. Number 46, a guy you never heard of unless it was from me on the Sleepers Pod, was John Polakidis. That name gets me every time. John Polakidis. 6'5" guard from Yale, senior, almost 20 points per game, 41% from three. Now, the way people are talking about Knipple and Will Riley, Liam McNeely, John Polakidis should be talked like this. He is the shooter of the draft. Lefty, tremendous three-point shooter. He can shoot it not just in one type of style, in any situation. He can get a step back. He can spot up, hit it off the dribble. He can get it off in any circumstance. His dribbling is impressive as well. Really nice mid-range game. Super impressive guard. He may get slept on because he played at Yale, but he should be drafted. The fact that he is not just a shooter, the fact that he created his own shot, even off the dribble, just tells you everything you need to know. Uses his body to create space. Very smart. And will fill a role in today's game immediately. I'm very high on John Polakidis, and I will get his name right at some point. That was the first time I did it right with no problem. So remember that name, okay? Because I want to hear more of it. Number 47, Will Riley, the 6'8" forward from Illinois. 12 points, 4 boards, 2 assists. No real other stats. 33% from three. Not great three-point shooter, but solid. Long rangey, can shoot the ball pretty well, but I don't think he's ready to contribute in the NBA yet, honestly. He does have a really great size, but he's not elite at anything. I don't see anything that he does at a pro level, honestly. He's not fast, doesn't finish strong. He seems like a G League player. Very simple moves to get to the basket. His form is nice, but his percentage is not even great. It's just average or a little below average. So I don't really see Will Riley making an impact in the NBA. A lot of people have him in the first round as a guarantee. I don't see it. I mean, that's the only reason I have him 47th. He probably would be lower than that if everyone else wasn't so high on him. But I think people need to look into him a little bit more because I don't see the infatuation that everyone else does. All right. You mad at me yet? Let's go to 48. Tyrese Proctor. Tyrese Proctor, 6'5", 185 pounds, 20 years old. Originally a point guard, but also plays the two, so he's in-betweener type. 12 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 40% from three. So, tall point guard, nice handle, can get his own shot and create. Great three-point shooter, can get to the mid-range J, hit the fadeaway whenever he wants. A lot of times he's not really making plays for others. So I want to see him get more assists. I want to see him get the opportunity to be a full-on point guard. and see where it can go. But he may be stuck in no man's land, honestly, because Duke wanted him to play the two. We'll see. I don't know. It's a tough spot, but there is talent there. He may just be a spot up shooter in the NBA. He's got his 3-point game really, really improved. So he's not really fast or athletic. He's just smooth, And sometimes he does over dribble to get where he needs to go. But Proctor has a lot of talent, and it just needs to be molded in the correct way. Well worth a second round pick. Lamont Butler is my 49th prospect, the 6'2 guard out of Kentucky. Played 4 years at San Diego State, and then in that fifth year with Kentucky, he improved his number. So that tells you something. When you step up in the competition and you don't fall down in stats, you actually rise up. That's a very positive thing. He's a professional point guard, you know what I mean? Lightning fast, quick first step. Love how he plays under control. He kind of dribbles and handles the rock like Chris Paul, He's just an excellent shooter, great at creating steals, and he plays at his own pace. He can get to the rack with ease, he can blow by you, and a great shooter. So he can have the defense on a string at a time. So has no trouble in the paint with like some smaller guards do because he is 6'2", but he knows how to work it. So knows how to use his body and he moves to get a shot or assist. So I mean, I really like Lamont Butler. He's a guy everyone has undrafted. I have him at 49th. He's well worth a spot in the NBA. And number 50, Caleb Grill, the 6'3 guard from Missouri. Unfortunately, he's a 6-year senior, 25 years old. But if you take that away, if you don't look at his age, 14 points, 40% from three, very athletic point guard, almost 2 steals per game. Now, Caleb can shoot it off the dribble or spotting up, constantly running off screens to get his shot, very long range, quick release. He's honestly a great prospect. I can see him being one of the last picks in the draft, maybe putting up a lot of numbers in the G League before he gets his chance in the NBA. But if he gets a chance with the right team, he can show out. He will do very well. He's perfect for today's game because he's not just a 3-point shooter. He can get to the rack too, off the dribble or from cutting. And if he was 20 years old, he'd be a first round pick. So look out for Caleb Grill. He has hops and speed as well from Missouri. Somebody draft that young man. Now, we're on the 51. If you've been paying attention to ESPN and all the other big name programs, you're looking at my list thinking this sounds a lot different, but I'm giving you an explanation. It doesn't make sense. Am I wrong? Hit me up on Twitter at William is Bill. Let's go through these last 10. 51, John Tonje, a 6'6 guard from Wisconsin. Very talented young player. 20 points per game in college, 5 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 39% from three. He actually had a 41-point game this year. Great 3-point shooter, super long range. Really good shooting guard / small forward, catch and shoot guy that could be a 3-and-D guy as well, which is very important in today's game because he's not super fast, not super athletic, but he's good enough in those areas to still be effective. He's similar to Dillon Brooks. John Tonje from Wisconsin, 24 years old. That's a negative, but worth the spot. Number 52, Grant Nelson, the big from Alabama. Really a power forward, really like a unicorn. He was looked at as a unicorn, as a rookie. I remember scouting him as a rookie or just sophomore. And I was like, whoa, this guy's talented when he was at North Dakota State. He decided to transfer to Alabama to up his competition. And his stats actually did go down because he was a standout at North Dakota, went up to Alabama and to try to win the championship. And he may have played more of a team style to where it wasn't just about him being the guy. And that's why his numbers went down. But the talent is still there. Still has a quick first step. Can get to the rim or shoot the three. He needs to improve because he's only 26% at three, but he still has a good shot on him. He does have a slow release on his jumper. I hate that, but with bigs, it's not that big a deal. But every time I see someone with a slow release, I just have to point it out. But Grant Nelson has enough skill to play and get NBA minutes. He just needs to improve on a few things. He might need to change his form on the shot. We will see. But I've been waiting to see Grant in the NBA for a while now, so I'm glad his time has come. Number 53, Jalen Moore, 6'6 guard from Oklahoma. 38% from three, 16 points, 6 boards per game. Really good shooting guard, very athletic, shoots great from three. A bit of an interesting shot, but he makes it at a high percentage. 38% and 40% the last 2 years. So you know that's not a fluke. Very smooth game from Jalen Moore. Gets to the rack at will, can finish strong or with finesse, can create his own shot, can blow by his man. It's nothing to be concerned about with Jalen Moore. He looks like he's ready to go from Oklahoma. Come on, give him a shot, y'all. 53. Now at 54, Curtis Jones, a guy that was ranked super low. Only negative I see about him is he's skinny. But like I said, skinny. He's 6'5", but only 165 pounds. I think he's the skinniest, lightest weight guy that I scouted out of over 100 prospects. But, and he's a senior. It's not like he's an 18-year-old baby. So we got to get Curtis Jones in the weight room with some good chefs and nutritionists. But his game is ridiculous. 17 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, and 1 steal, 37% from three. Now, Curtis is a great three-point shooter, super deep range, can dribble up the court, get his own shot, very skilled. When he drives to the rack, his weight shows at times because he's undersized in weight, needs to bulk up, and he can be a really good player. He throws up some wild shots going to the basket because of that. But so he'll probably have to spend the first year in the G League just to get up to size with the guys. But the talent is there. Like I said, super deep range, very skilled guard, Curtis Jones from Iowa State. Number 55, we're getting near the end, y'all, and I have a guy that a lot of people will say is a lock for the first round. It's no disrespect to him, but from what I saw, Ben Saraf, the 6'5" guard, averaged 12 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, 30% from three. That was at the mid-range of his season. Those are the numbers that I had for him at that time. But his height is what makes him stand out. To me, Ben is a solid point guard. He has a nice mid-range game, but he's not special. It depends on his draft capital. If he's a first-round pick and he's going to get the starting job, he's going to get minutes and the opportunity to show what he can do for a team. But to me, he seems like a bench player at best. So why is that a first rounder? I mean, his height is great. He has a nice shot, including three-point shots. He just got to get that percentage up. But I need to see more. I need to see a specialty. I need to see something you're great at to be a first rounder. And for me, second rounder, buddy. Sorry, Ben Sarah. Number 56, Dawson Garcia, the 6'11 big man from Minnesota. I love his game. 19.7 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and 37% from three. Dawson Garcia is nice. He had multiple 30-point games, can put the ball on the floor, get to the rack, shoot the three. He moves like a small forward at times, which means he moves really well out there because he's 6'11. That's center status. But he's good in the pick and roll, good rebounder, runs the floor well. I'm not sure he can even play center though at 6'11, and that is not a negative because having a 6'11 power forward that can move like a small forward, that's even better. Honestly, think about your front court. It's going to be a lot of length. But offensively he can do some things. I think he can play right now in the NBA, and that's common with guys that are seniors, especially fifth year seniors, which he is. And he can be ready for the rotation right away. His offense is ready. If his defense can become really good, he'll stick in the NBA. He has the size, movement, and all that to be ready for the NBA and a good matchup for teams on both sides of the court. I love this show, man. I'm sorry, I love it. Kobe Brea, the 6'7" forward from Kentucky, 22 years old. 11 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, 43% from three. Now, Kobe is an excellent three-point shooter. He has a beautiful shot, great size, and will help any team in need of shooting. I can see him going undrafted, but I can also see him being drafted just to shoot the three. He can help a good team for sure. He looks like the current version of Klay Thompson, the old man version of Klay Thompson, who is with the Mavericks right now. So sometimes can play, sometimes he can't, but he's ready to shoot the spot up. Um, he can shoot slow and patient with Uh, Sometimes he has super quick release when it's necessary, though. So when he's by himself, he's taking his time. When a man's on him, he can shoot it quick. Good cutter, but I need more out of Kobe. But I do see the old man Klay Thompson. I just hope I can see the young man Klay Thompson at some point. Number 58 on my list. This could be out of loyalty, but Hunter Salas, the 6'5" guard from Wake Forest, 22 years old, 18 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal per game. I wanted him to be drafted last year. He came out near the end of the deadline, and I was higher on him last year than this year. But, you know, I don't know if he improved much, but Hunter Salas takes what the defense gives him. Really good mid-range game, has a floater, makes big-time shots. He is skinny, but we talked about Curtis Jones, who's way more skinny. But he can shoot the three, he can go into traffic and score, but he may have a tough time doing that with his weight right now. And he was the man at Wake Forest, but in the NBA, he's going to have to play a role. And normally that role is defense or cutting or shooting. And he shot 28% from three. So he's going to have to get that up tremendously if he wants a role in the NBA. He's draftable. He just needs to be molded a little bit to do a few more things that will help an NBA team. Number 59, Coleman Hawkins. Remember that name? Another player that could have came out last year decided to return to school, transferred to Kansas State for his senior year, and that was his 5th year. 11, 7, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block per game. He still had a really good season. He should be being talked about. I think I'm the highest on him because I haven't seen him ranked by anyone else. And honestly, I could be higher on him because there's no reason he can't be picked 39, 45, something like that. But I am at 59 because I had to get him in this draft class because he is too talented to not be drafted. I mean, he plays like Aaron Gordon out there, and we see how invaluable that is for the Nuggets. He can dribble up, shoot the three, drive to the basket from the perimeter. He doesn't just stay in the paint. He's a good rebounder, good stat maker. Moves well on offense and is fast for his size. Like I said, 6'10", makes some incredible passes, does everything well. I mean, well worth being drafted. I don't know why he's being looked over by a lot of teams, but Coleman Hawkins, 59. And with that being said, that should be it because there are only 59 selections in this draft class because I think the Knicks were the team that lost their pick. A pick was forfeited, tampering or something. Every year it seems like it's a draft pick or two that's missing, that's been forfeited. But 60 guys should be drafted. So the NBA is screwing a few guys every year out of being drafted. But for me, I'm going to still say those full 60 guys. So number 60 on my list is Arthur Kaluma, and he is not ranked high on anyone's list. I don't know why. He's a very hardworking player that gets to the ball, attacks the rack. Nothing fancy, but he gets the job done. Recently compared him to Taurean Prince. We see guys like that are looked over, but you blink and look up. Taurean Prince has been in the NBA for 9 years. Arthur Kaluma could do the same thing. He can fill a great small forward defensive 3-and-D role for your team. And it's not like he's a guy that can't shoot with the 3-and-D situation. He's at 36% from three. So he can be elite at the 3-and-D role, can guard multiple positions, boxes out for rebounds. Those guys are important too. So you can't just get all rim runners and guys that fit the quota size-wise and muscle-wise and all this pretty stuff. Arthur Kaluma is going to get in there, do the dirty work, and be vital for your team. I got to give a shout out to a couple other guys that deserve to be drafted, but are a little bit out of my top 60. Caden Shedrick, big man from Texas, very talented. Hugo Gonzalez, he's a first rounder by a lot of people's status, but for me, I have him 62nd. I don't know if he's even going to come over. We'll see, but he's a very bouncy guard from Real Madrid. Cam Jones, he's highly thought of, 6'4" guard from Marquette. I don't know if there's anything special right now, but he is an excellent passer. Cliff Omarui, big man that could have an impact. Eli John and Jaye. You see what Pascal Siakam's doing? Give Eli a few years in the G League like Pascal had to take. You might can have something, but it is a prospect thing with him because he's not ready right now. But Eli has some nice tools. Eric Dixon from Villanova. His game's not pretty, but he can be effective. I don't know if he's ready yet, but because he kind of plays like Kenny Lofton, if you remember him. But Kenny Lofton was undersized. So Eric Dixon is 6'9". So he could have success, but the NBA doesn't seem to like players with games like that. Noah Penda, 67. Max Sugar, 68. Javon Small, 69th. Alex Tuhey, 70. Peyton Sanford, Dink Pate, Micah Peavy, Tamar Bates, Kobe Johnson, Jaden Akins. That's a few guys I wanted to give some love to because very talented, may be drafted, probably will be drafted. Some of my guys may not be, but I've had to give you my 31 through 60 from my eyes. And that's all we can do, guys. If you have love for a prospect, if you have strong um, opinions on a guy, go with it. Don't let anyone else influence you and make you think you're crazy or stupid. Like, this is basketball, okay? We're allowed our opinions. This is fun. The draft's coming up in a few days. I think 4 days now at this point. Let's get to it. Let's be nice to everybody. Let's love everyone. Let's subscribe to the All Rookie Podcast. Hope you like my 31 through 60. A few more episodes coming out for you guys. Till next time, I'm out of here. Peace.